Welcome back, plebs.
We're back.
How are we?
Yeah, cool. It's been a busy week, and it seems like we're back is our opening salvo on these streams. So we're back.
Back stronger, as the Peter Crouch podcast says.
It's been an interesting.
Go on.
It's been an interesting week. It's also been an interesting 12 to 24 hours, which I'm sure we're going to talk about in due course. But I think the big story is obviously BNB and the 2 million BNB that was hacked last night Euro time. I mean, that's $600 million. I mean, like, what the actual? Yeah, and BNB promptly froze the chain. And it's still frozen. You can't transfer in and out of BSC. So yeah, I mean, obviously quite a big thing, and I'm sure, this doesn't really bode well for crypto and obviously for Binance as well.
But the thing is, we were doing so well. Like in crypto, we were doing so well. There hadn't been too much bad news like the last few days, and now this. It's like, come on, can we not just have a break for a week? The market started green at the start of the week. They tanked a little bit yesterday and probably today, but this is just not what we want.
Yeah.
Always the case. Always the case. Just as we start to move in the right direction, it's like, yeah, let's go on. Let's go and cause a fucking $500 million hack.
And probably the most how on earth are you going to exit? If you're hacking it, how do you exit? You should know better. If you've gone to the trouble of hacking this ecosystem, you should know that it's probably the most centralized entity on the planet, and you ain't going to get anywhere. Clearly, I reckon pretty much all that money is going to get recovered by the end of this weekend. That's what I think is going to happen.
Could you not just wash it?
Pardon?
Like, could he not just run that through a washer and then distribute it to a load of different wallets and then take it out?
I think he's tried to do that. I mean, USDT banned it, banned his address and everything that was associated to it. I really don't think he's going to get much out of this, if anything at all. I mean, there's just too much riding on this. CZ is way too influential. We are now going to see the power of centralization in a decentralized space, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, so what you're trying to say, centralization is bullish.
And that we need more of it.
Well, when things like this happen, you want there to be some kind of accountability, or don't you? I mean, it's the double-edged sword. Comes back to, what we spoke about, with privacy, until shit hits the fan.
Look how much of a Chad this tweet is. The current impact estimated is around 100 million USD equivalent, about a quarter of the last BNB burn.
It is a Chad's tweet.
It's like, it's fucking pocket change to us.
It's exactly what that tweet is.
You can probably find that down the back of the couch and just distribute it out. Like, we'll see. But yeah, like looking at it a little bit more in detail, this Sam CZ son was a really, really good thread around it. Effectively, it convinced the bridge to to kind of double spend and send him twice the amount of which he'd asked to withdraw. But it seems like this was quite obviously it was coordinated, but this was planned quite in advance by this trail here, which is really, really interesting. But I'm pretty sure 50 million ended up in Phantom, and it was just like,
that's
probably the largest. It's probably the largest TVL increase in Phantom since
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, so God knows, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like the 21 validators on Binance Smart Chain, it's it's a lot easier to round those guys up, particularly if you own probably the lion's share of them as well. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be too affected if we have a look at chickens.
We're talking about a super serious topic, then all of a sudden, chicken.
Dude, that chicken project has probably been one of the most freaking successful NFT projects in the history of crypto. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, I mean, BNB doesn't look.
So BNB tanked a little there. You can see, and then it did a bit of a recovery, and now it's just finding its way again in line with what's happening in the market.
Yeah, it's been super strong. If we can find the BNB BTC, like if you look at the state of this, BNB BTC has just been up only forever.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And what I thought was interesting as well, seeing as though CZ is with this Twitter takeover, I think CZ is one of the largest investors in the actual takeover bid. Like crypto Twitter is already basically owned by Binance at a distance and through kind of marketing and whatever other dark arts they use. That takeover for me is just going to be like, again, just another kind of CZ marketing machine for the whole Binance ecosystem.
What in terms of Twitter itself?
Yeah, he's like the largest.
Yeah, he's funding, right? He's the largest funder, right?
Yeah, but just imagine if he gets kind of influential say over what happens to Twitter, and you're effectively gonna wield the largest marketing tool on planet Earth, other than kind of Instagram and TikTok at this point.
So he will be the ultimate crypto Jedi. I mean, there's no fucking ways that anyone could touch him. It's like mind tricks abound and profits. I mean, what is the motivation from this point onwards for someone like CZ? I mean, he is probably one of the wealthiest dudes on the planet, arguably. So what's actually next? I mean, what is it? It's like just take over the world.
Exactly why. Do you know why he's going to do this on Twitter? Do you know why? Because he's annoyed that Vitalik stole the shitcoin space and scene away from BSC. Now, as soon as CZ gets control of Twitter, all those posts of those LARPers doing shitcoin season on Ethereum, gone, ladies and gentlemen, gone. BSC shitcoin season is coming back. Christmas 2022. That is one thing I will promise you.
That's a prediction. There's your alpha. That's
your alpha for today. BSC season, Christmas 2022. There we go. Look at it. It's going to fly. Look at that. Look at the green. Look at the green. I see no red. I see.
You can't see red because no one can fucking sell.
No one can do anything on that ecosystem right now. Everything is on pause.
There's a 3,000%. Scroll down. Look at that. Look at that. We're flying. 11 Minu CBNB. No idea what they are.
Yeah, but you'll start seeing like CZ Twitter tokens and CZ Elon tokens and
what's Palm? Because there was a chat that was filtering in and out of that yesterday. Oh, beautiful.
It looks nothing like a shitcoin, does it?
Mate, look at that.
What the fuck is that?
Now that is an insider pump and dump. You let it die and then you pump and dump it again. That's what that is.
Dude, look at the value. It's like, look at that freaking candle. That's just the most ridiculous thing ever.
And it's a 1.8 million market cap. Whoa, they must be doing something, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, it looks great.
It never ceases to amaze me how this market, this shitcoin market, just continues to thrive.
Mate, did you? I don't know if you caught in the Blockades Discord yesterday. There's that one play that we posted in there. It literally went from 0 to 750k within seconds, and it was all because somebody. And this is a new fad and trend that's going in the microcap space. So this is some alpha for you right now. So be careful. People are buying old accounts that CZ has followed. So this coin had bought an account on Twitter and then they linked it to like Ryoshi and Shib, and it absolutely flew. And then that's when CZZ said yesterday that he's unfollowing any like, you know, shit accounts basically, and the price within 38 seconds dive bombed. It just went it's crazy.
So if there was ever a time to notify our listeners and our viewers, we definitely do not deliver financial advice on this channel.
Nope.
Absolutely, we do not. We
We
are here purely for entertainment purposes. As you can see, we spend most of our time laughing at each other, laughing at the market. So this is only for entertainment. And I mean,
now back to the serious BNB bridge hack.
Yeah, there was obviously some. So Tether reacted extremely quickly by the look of it.
Yeah, they did. They were in on it like 10 minutes later. It came out.
Maybe it was them because they want to give them bad publicity.
Maybe it was Andre. But yeah, aside from that kind of shit show, there was another that came up that Celcius, effectively in this whole court case that's going on, and the latest Celcius court filings, which totals over 14,000 pages to the Internet Archive for anyone who really wants to get into the nitty-gritty of the bankruptcy case. It appears that the filing is so large because it seems to have the names and recent transactions of every user on the platform. So anyone who's used that is now officially doxed.
That is serious. I mean, this is really serious, and I mean that. This freaking the CEO that's run this thing, if I was him, I would go into hiding. Seriously. Like, really, I would hide, and I wouldn't come out of that basement for a very long time. There's going to be some very upset people that are on that list that don't want to be known. And I reckon there's going to be a lot of compromises that are going to come out of this list. And as one of those tweets said on the other tab, if you haven't reported your taxes and your name is on this list, they're going to come and check on you because it's easy for them, right? It's an easy paper trail. So this is not a good thing for people who have been ducking and diving. And I'm sure there's a lot of them.
It just builds directly into what's on the horizon of the ZK landscape and privacy and everything like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at this.
What is
part of the documentation for 165 grand at 9 Beach Latin America Restaurant LLC, and the guy's like, "What the fuck were they eating for 165 grand?" over 2 days. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, dude, that's hysterical. What the fuck? That's too funny, man. But also very sad.
But could you imagine being the tax man now and getting that pile of documents on your table, and you imagine walking in Monday morning at like 9 a.m. and you've got to go through that. I mean, as a tax person, that's probably like heaven.
From a tax person, it's actually really simple. You know what you do? You find the big transactions, the top 100, and then you just run your finger through that list. That's all it is. Like, if someone's done 20 mil, 30 mil, 50 mil in transactions, check the name. Are they American citizen? Cool. Have they declared the taxes? No. Cheers. Let's knock on their door. It's from a tax perspective, it's a beautiful
market now.
Yeah,
is that what the event was? Is that what that meal was linked to?
Yeah, they had two. Look, 9 Beach Latin Restaurant Bar, and that was the 9 Beach Latin Restaurant Bar. So the meetup, so the meetup cost them 165 grand.
Dude, 165 grand. 165 grand US in South Africa is essentially for most of the population. Yeah, it's like 10 years of good living. 10 years of good living.
And they spend it on a piss up in 3 hours.
It feels like this is kind of worth it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Start looking for app developers.
Yeah. Yeah, start looking for app developers.
No, in all seriousness, it's what a joke. What a joke. God,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that the whole doxing situation there, it just points towards where the space needs to get to. Anyone using kind of centralized platforms, in my opinion, for stuff like that is asking for trouble. You can kind of argue that the same with exchanges. I very, very, very rarely use a centralized exchange anymore. I'd rather just have custody of everything I've got myself, just in case anything happens to the exchange. You know, there was a lot of FUD around a lot of centralized exchanges when everything was going to shit. But I'd rather if someone's gonna fuck up my money and like I'd rather it be me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not these guys who are spending it on like 2 days at dinner. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, more optimistic stuff. Hero have just kind of rolled out the USDC collateralization on perps and expiring futures. And then they're also calling for builders to build on top of the primitive layer. I'm an idiot, so I can't go and do this. I can help out with ideas and ideation and all that kind of stuff. But effectively, if you think about it in the most simple way possible, if there's a way to bet, if there is a kind of market maker and a market taker, whether that's a betting platform, options market, derivatives market, anything that has someone who wants to risk money and someone to underwrite the risk, you can effectively build it. And once you start looking at everything in life, you start realizing that the vast majority of things are kind of a betting market. Just take inspiration. Like if anyone's listening and wants to kind of build on it, just kind of take inspiration of even stuff that you know and see on more EVM chains that has worked. You can kind of build it on top of this layer. It's just everything's there. The risk engine's there. You've got a really, really strong support team there to go and build it. Pretty sure there'll be some grants and things like that as well. When is the conference? And the Solana conference?
Solana conference is in Lisbon between the 4th and the 7th of November. Blockmates will be there. We actually have our press accreditation granted to us. They clearly have no idea, but that's fine. We'll take the opportunity. So I'm traveling, and it looks like Dan will also be coming with. You unfortunately are fading on us, but we understand why. We totally understand how the rules of marriage and fiancés work, so we'll give you that one for this round. And yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think despite the FUD and all the bad publicity that Solana gets, Solana's solid, man. The guys are doing stuff. I mean, Hero, obviously, Hero's our sponsor, and we come from a space. Well, I'm very much a Hero fan, so that's where we're coming from. So just be aware of that, guys. But the proof is in what it is that they're doing. I mean, they've rolled this thing out in probably one of the most hardcore environments in the market possible. Apparently, this total staked is incorrect. The UI needs to be sorted out. It's actually 10 times that, apparently. And I think the founders have actually staked a whole lot as well to support this whole thing in terms of giving back to the community. That hasn't been officially announced yet, but you're getting a glimpse of it on our show. So yeah, I mean, staking is now live. They're effectively building an ecosystem, around this protocol, which allow, as you say, to plug in your own ideas and your own betting strategies, provided you know obviously how to code and do that. So yeah.
Sick. Should we have a look at what the chart's doing? So, glory or death, what's happening?
It's more of the same. I mean, it's like everyone's kind of like in the space where they need to find all these weird and wonderful reasons as to what's going on, but it's just more of the same. The market's where it's at, macros, running the show, macros in charge, standing there with this big set of arms and a big stick, and it's just saying this is the way it's going to be. Did you see the DXY yesterday? I mean, I posted on Twitter. You open the DXY chart and you open the Bitcoin chart. DXY farts and Bitcoin reacts like almost immediately. The algos just go into overdrive, and the price either drops or goes up depending on what DXY is doing. It's as simple as that. You want to know what Bitcoin's going to do? Just go and watch the DXY when markets open, and then when market closes, Bitcoin just freaking maintains one level. That's what it's doing at the moment. I don't know if you want to comment, Dan.
Yeah, if you want,
that's a swing failure though. That's fucking great news.
Yeah,
look at that. That's going straight back up.
Yeah,
you got there's so much more people.
Know, you know,
there's so much to look at, because when you actually look, I'm quite clearly, obviously, a macro economist now by doing a couple of weeks of research. But there's things like you've got to look at things like the bonds. Then you can look at the currencies. Then you can even look at the VIX. And there was an interesting, and I went back and had a look in it. But with the VIX, obviously this is not advice. This is just a saying. But they're saying saying goes like when the VIX is high, you buy because the price is tanked, and when the VIX is low, you either look at selling or in theory shorting. And you can marry up like really big high peak points on the VIX, and it works out like an absolute treat. So I do like a little morning analysis. For me, if bonds are up, price comes down. If Dixie is up, price comes down. If futures are down, price comes down. If it's the inverse, price goes up. And if you then match it up with what the Fed is going on in the world. So today at 1:30 p.m. UK time, we have non-farm employment change results coming out. We also have the unemployment rate coming out. Now, essentially what the Fed wants to do is they want more people out of jobs, so then it curbs spending, because Americans are spending too much, which is causing inflation. Yes, it's the Americans that are obviously causing inflation. If those numbers come out the right way, which would seem positive for the economy, it's going to mean the market's going to tank because America doesn't want more people in employment. So we are right now, if you're a trader, it's you versus the news, and it's you versus the Dixie, and it's you versus the bonds. That's it. Like fundamentals don't mean shit right now, in my opinion.
Grant.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Me?
What do you think? Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't really know anymore.
Yeah.
I'm bored of this whole thing. And if these are the whims that we have to play with for the rest of eternity, then it's not going to be interesting at all.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is that. So hold on a second. What Grant is actually saying is that we need to maybe change our strategy from a blockmate's perspective, and we need to actually just solely focus on those micro cap shit coins.
Yeah,
that was a joke. That was a joke, by the way. No, stop, right?
No, I don't know. It tends, because this is why that happens. Like, you joke, but this is why that happens, because people get so chopped up and caught up and frustrated with correlation to stuff that they have no edge over whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then they just start looking for kind of riskier and riskier players, because it's the only place in the market that they might actually have an opportunity to do it. But that's kind of roulette and not poker, if that makes sense.
100%. And that's exactly what's happening. You have hit the nail on the head, sir. That's exactly what is happening. So
I don't know. It's just shit and boring.
So you want to come back to roulette now? We're gonna that's mental. And I'll come on to it in one sec. Now we're about to have a conversation in Discord, and somebody had asked you, Grant, like, so how do you evaluate a project, and how do you vet that they are good or not in order to invest? And I'm just thinking, well, if it was me, I'm like, right, do I have insider knowledge? Do I know the team behind it? And am I confident it's going to pump, or has an alpha wallet just 8-10? Now, as we've been on stream, you can probably tell like I sometimes flick away a little bit. But one of the alpha wallets just flicked into something. I'm not going to say what, and it's already just done like a 6x. So if you want edge over the market, it is like finding insiders or alpha hunters or whatever, and then that's your edge. If you want to look at fundamentals of a company or fundamentals of a project now, it's just like, okay, so someone's got great fundamentals, but is it going to pump?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's not for the most part, especially because of what Grant is saying, is that we're so prescribed to this macro traditional finance animal that the only thing that's really going to make things spicy is when that starts getting spicy. And the reality of the situation is that right now, the only things that potentially are showing any kind of clue of sustainability, like for the long term, are those traditional finance players that, you know, like whether it's options trading, whether it's perps, whether it's forex trading, you know, all that stuff that should have been in the mix 2-3 years ago, only now coming into the mix now that the market's gone to shit. But I have faith that it will turn and things will be different at some point in time. We just need to, you know, be patient. I know it's hard and it's fucking boring, but that's what we need to do. We don't really have a choice.
I know you want to draw a W on that. Like, it's so tempting to draw a W.
This chart is horrendous.
I don't know. Emery
just boring and choppy.
Boring. Emery just drew an M for you on Twitter. So if you go to Leftsideemiri on Twitter, you'll see that he drew the most beautifully ugly M that you could possibly imagine.
Mate, I tell you what, that is fucking sending.
Excuse my poor drawing skills.
I love this kid. He's like,
so epic.
I met him in Singapore as well. He's a great lad.
He has me laughing pretty much all day. I mean, so if you don't follow Leftsideemiri, go follow him. He's definitely worth following.
He's just in his own little world, isn't he? He's fucking hilarious.
It's such an epic character.
He's an incredible writer as well. You need
he's very good.
His Substack's excellent. He does a lot of writing for us as well. So yeah, keep that kid close. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So there's your M, Dan. There's your M, bro.
that is going to feature later today. That's going to be in the newsletter. That is. Shout out to my boy Emery.
It's the Golden Arches. That's all it is.
The Golden Arches. That's exactly what it is.
It's predicting where we're all going. It's foreshadowing our next line of work.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my goodness.
I feel like we haven't given any information today. We've just took the piss out of everything.
Talking shit, haven't we? Well, it has been one of those weeks, so I think we do get the right to reflect on one of those weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, from a market perspective, Bitcoin was looking really strong and looking quite the Chad, and you know, people were, you know what it's like. It's that meme, the 1% meme, where it goes up 1%. And it's like, yeah, it's like it's all happening, and it's like everyone was feeling like really like confident, and I'm like, no, guys, just calm the fuck down. Why have you brought this up? Is this you trying to like prove our inadequacy for not getting involved in this thing?
Well,
you're such an evil person.
I think these are going to have something. Well, I know they have something to do with Berachain, but knowing those guys over there, it's not just going to be what you see on the surface. So I don't know. I mean,
just hang on. Wait. So we have this like shooting the breeze fuck around show up until minute 29, and then you decide You know what? I'm going to give the alpha to all the plebs that have actually managed to endure the pain and suffering of the last 29 minutes. That's what you've done now, haven't you?
They've had to watch it because we're not timestamping this part. This part's not getting timestamped.
Dude. Okay, please carry on, Grant. Please carry on. This is you have me hook, line, and sinker, bro. Just
right. So the Bong Bears have been produced by Berachain. There are a few more. There's the Baby Bears, Band Bears, Bit Bears, and
Boo Bears as well.
Boo Bears as well. I think Bit Bears are probably the cheapest at the minute at 1.73 floor. You can take those Bong Bears floor prices with a pinch of salt because there's 8% listed and the best offer is literally 7.01 ETH. So, but who knows? These Berachain guys are again crazy scientists. What we're seeing on the surface with these, there is kind of talks about NFT rebasing and things like that, but I think it will probably cut a little deeper. I don't know what that is yet. They're keeping it really close to their cards really close to the chest. But for me, it wouldn't make an awful lot of sense it would make a lot of sense that this had something to do with like the initial liquidity mining or exposure to the Berachain ecosystem. And you never know what these guys are up to because if you go into their Discord, everyone just talks complete fucking nonsense and it's absolutely hilarious. But the chain underlying itself, despite it not being real, as they say, it's going to be fascinating to watch how that comes out the gate because it's based on proof of liquidity as opposed to another kind of consensus layer. So people will be able to stake Bera, their token. They'll be able to stake Bitcoin. They'll be able to stake ETH, like a full collection of different tokens to kind of secure the chain. So that's like their model of chain security. You'll be like a whole host of tokens will be able to secure it. That will effectively then get pushed into their native DEX and paired with their own stablecoin, which is Honey. So anyone who's staking on the chain,
I love it.
anyone who's staking on the chain is effectively providing liquidity to the chain, hence proof of liquidity. So you've got Bera, which is, as I say, the kind of utility token on the chain. You've got Honey, which is the stablecoin, and then you've also got I can't remember what the last one is, but the last one is it's a non-transferable token, which will effectively allow you to kind of stake and then earn Bera rewards from staking as well. And it'll also inevitably allow you to earn additional Honey. So there's going to be like lots of dynamic moving parts on the chain. Yeah. There's 1,000,001 different protocols that are building over there. Everyone's there's an Airtable that I will probably leave in the description if I remember of all the projects that are building over there. I think Redacted are probably going to integrate here because if they own a lot of the governance power here, what I think is going to happen is the chain will effectively be allowed. The chain will have the infrastructure that will be allowed to vote and incentivize what tokens are desired for staking on the chain. So if they want an additional amount of ETH to be staked to secure the chain, because it's effectively the same thing as voting for where the liquidity goes. So if a new token gets listed as able to act as this kind of proof of liquidity, that gets into a liquidity pool. And then with the Bera tokens, you'll probably be able to sway the next distribution of emissions towards specific pools that are also validating the network. So it's lots of kind of crazy shit going on, but all the right people all the smart people in there. Not that I'm one of them. I'm just trying to observe what's going on. But yeah, Grant, it'll be interesting.
Is there a chance we could get the guys on?
Yeah, I spoke to Smokey like 2 weeks ago. Cool. They're obviously really ramping up to get ready for launch in Q4, Q1. So I've just said whenever you're free, and they're open to come on. It's just obviously it's all hands on deck at the minute. But yeah,
I love these, bro. I mean, bunch of bears getting baked. I mean, it's just so it's perfect.
Go and have a look at the band bears, because that's cool. I know we were speaking about this before stream.
Yeah,
this is really clever.
So. Yeah, I mean, this is cool.
How many
have literally gone through a whole range of like random like artists and given them their own. So you got Juicy J, you got the Sugar Babes. Who's heard of the Sugar Babes in like the last 5 years? Nobody. But it's brilliant that they're giving them recognition.
Black Sabbath, Chick Bono from U2. I mean, it's really cool.
There's Eminem, there's Skrillex,
Green Day, the Beatles.
Oh, I might have to buy this John Lennon one.
Chick, he can't help himself. He's about to buy.
No.
They're quite pricey. I mean, they're not cheap.
There's not many listed. That's the thing. And James,
look at the Biggie, the Biggie Bear.
Oh, the Biggie Bear is amazing. Check the price, bro. Half a million US. But he is super cool, isn't he?
Wow. What's buy it now price? What are people actually letting these go for? There's only 2% listed.
3 ETH. How many are for sale?
Yeah, so the Swise guy that we found earlier in the week, like live on chain, he's been buying a load. He bought a load of these yesterday for 2.5. He is doing well.
Yeah.
Again, insider wallets, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you look. Eminem, my man.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, interesting. Cool, we'll see what utility comes out of them, but I can kind of guarantee there's going to be something. Do I have some? Yes, I am pumping my bags, but so don't take advice from me. But we'll see. It's all a game anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's actually pretty cool that, in light of the displeasure that we expressed around how boring this market is, that on the flip side of it, this is going on, and you could argue that it's definitely a part of the shitcoin mayhem space, and it's just, you can always rely on the freaks to come up with something like this and make it interesting for us. It's going to be fun, definitely.
All right. Is there anything else? Anything else today? Nothing. It's been pretty flat, hasn't it, all week?
Yeah, it has. There've been some good. I mean, from a trading perspective, I've seen some guys really play these short range moves really well. There's guys out there that know what they're doing, and they're making their money. The message here is that, if you're willing to put the work in, if you're willing to kind of get into that space, there is money to be made. I mean, it's like Cred was saying. Like Cred is I think he's my guru in terms of like making sense of the trading space. Is like he says along the lines of just make sure that when you are experimenting, because that's what you're doing, right? I mean, Dan, you've been experimenting. I've been experimenting over this period, like from a trading perspective. I know, Grant, you can't be fucking bothered. You're way too intelligent for that kind of thing. Whereas us dumbasses, we like insist on experimenting, and it's like, just make sure that you don't blow things up in your face. Don't fucking lose your head. Like, you're going to make mistakes, experiment, learn from your mistakes, but just make sure you don't go broke in the process. And he's 100% correct. Like, you see how the guys do it, how they see, the changes in, the market. And when it changes, they either open their longs and their shorts, 125x. And I mean, this is definitely not financial advice, but it's like, like really tight stops, really tight, and a very, very firm understanding of what it is that they're doing, and then obviously planning accordingly. And I think if you do that and you conduct yourself with the necessary discipline, you're gonna burn your fingers, but as long as you make more wins than you do losses, there's definitely money to be made in this market. The guys who know their stuff are actually they're making bank right now. That's just the reality. Whereas the rest of us who rely on up only aren't, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, but I suppose at the same time, the range-bound traders probably don't make as much as a lot of people in a trending market.
No, they don't.
So it's stick to what you're good at.
Well, it's actually, you know what it is from that perspective on the short, those range plays, is that all you're doing is that for me anyways, it's like I'm just trying to understand the risk management aspect of it, the flow of it. So what is the flow that's going and why is it going that way, reading what the market's doing, and then the discipline. I mean, those are the three main things that I'm like really benefiting from. I mean, and then it's small bets for me. It's like really small bets, just experimenting, trying different things. And then, those stops, really tight stops, small losses. And then when you do get wins, they're bigger wins. So, I mean, I've been net positive over the last month and a half, which is something that I've never really been able to do. But that's just because I've had to be super, super like disciplined. And then obviously taking probably 10% of the trades that I would normally. Because that's also a very big mistake. People think, I'm going to just do like 20 trades a day. No, bro. Even if you do one trade every 2 days and it's a green one, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. I think that's it. Anyone who's listening, we really need to start heading towards 1 billion subscribers. So we're going to need your help, I think. So yeah, can you do all the like and subscribe stuff? That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. Do it.
Right.
Do it. Just do it. Take it easy, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good weekend. Thank you.